Hi, everyone. Welcome all to the Microsoft Business Applications podcast. And joining us today, we have Subhashish Chakraborty. He's a solution architect specializing in Dynamics 365 finance and operations. He brings extensive expertise in integrations with Dynamics 365 F&O. So we thought about having a great scenario for you. So today we'll be showcasing an scenario that combines AI Hub with Power Apps to scan delivery docket and import into Dynamics 365 finance and operations. This is a great use case scenario for our viewers to learn from. And this would, even can identify, scan, the handwritten delivery dockets, or automatically match with the purchase order numbers if the purchase order numbers in the document, and update back into the Dynamics 365 F&O as well. And thanks, Subhashish, again, coming back and presenting this wonderful scenario to be here with us today. And we are excited to see this wonderful demonstration and explanations from you, and to make it easier for the users and the customers, who's having some kind of similar scenario, right? So with that, over to you, Subhashish, for demonstration to show everyone, how these scenarios, we can achieve from F&O and Power Platform itself using the AI Hub in Power Apps. Over to you.
Thank you, Kasun, once again for letting me in and letting me your speaker. And I will try to explain like what is that we are trying to achieve here. So let me share my screen in the meanwhile, and uh, just let me know once it is visible. And yes, I just shared. So, the Power Apps do have special capabilities, which is known as the AI models, whereby you can train your models. You can train any kind of context. Say, for example, you can train it in the form of any handwritten documents. You can train it form of, any kind of images, so as to scoop out any embedded texts from inside it, any embedded tables from inside it. So in our case, we are going to talk about delivery dockets, the scenario that you were just explaining. So whereby we are going to attach it against the any purchase order. The purchase orders, basically the purchase order numbers are already given in the delivery dockets. So what we have done is that, so if you get inside, there's models. So this model is exclusively trained with 10 or 9 or 10 odd documents which have the delivery dockets in them. Say, for example, we have a delivery docket like this, where it does have a purchase order number reference in it, the delivery address, the suppliers details, and all these details, the customer PO numbers, and all these things. Basically, it has this ingredients in it, and we have already trained them this model. So this model is showing as poor because I just made use of 8 to 10 odd models. I mean 8 to 10 copies of the documents. So that's why if you use more and more documents, the score will go up as high as 9 to 95%. It will go up. So if you see the details of it, you will see, like, if you get into the edit model context, it will show you, like, if you can define your own stuff. Say, for example, you want to find out the any custom field, you want to find out any kind of new fields apart from the already identified set of contexts. It will be able to identify that. And so once done, it's taking a while because it is basically looping back through all the trained models, the versions of the trained models. So you see the currencies there and the billing addresses there. It's kind of blurred, but I think you can see this. All these things are already there. It has been able to identify the amount due, the invoice total is already there, previous unpaid balances. These are the various fields that it has been able to find out. And in the next, if you go here, you can see, like, there are two versions of the collections. I am referring to this collection, which is having as close as 5 documents. So that's why the score was poor, because it's a very lesser number of documents. If you scan more and more documents, it will make the score more and more precise. And if you go to the next, and you can start the model trainings. And once the model summarization happens, you can start the training. So I'm not doing the exercise 1 second because it takes close to 20 to 25 minutes to get trained. And so once the model training gets over, you can use this model just like the way I have done it in my Power Apps. In my Power Apps, I've done it. I've used a similar case. If I run this, it will be able to identify what are the fields which are mapped out of this document which I'm going to upload this. Once I'm going to click on upload, it will run a Power Apps so as to upload it against any purchase order. Say, for example, this example which I'm going to show you is basically this PO36, which which we are going to scan and attach it against this purchase order number, that is PO36. So PO36, if you get inside, so we have the purchase order number for USMF, and so say for example, if I filter it by contains 36 and let it get filtered quickly, it will get filtered. So if you see, the PO36 doesn't have any attachment inside. So yeah, so we'll try to upload this and let us see like if it is able to identify this PO36. So if I run this, it will show me. Let me upload the PO36 now. So you see it is basically scanning and taking out all the fields that are mentioned there, and it will show in the individual text boxes that I have kept it. I am as a you see it is been able to take out the purchase order number, the date, the address, and the purchase order amount. Also, it is been able to found it basically. So this user, I mean myself, I'm an employee of USMF as a default employee. So as per my Power Apps' built-in security models, I could be able to upload it against this legal entity only. So that's a great feature of Power Apps models. And now if I click on upload, what it will do is that it will scan this upload and upload it against the purchase order. So it will take a couple of moments to get it done. So it's saying upload completed. So if I close this and go back to my purchase order and just refresh it, just refreshing it. And so if I get inside, I will see like this has got attached. Just not that, it can also show you this preview of it, like the one which I just showed you. Okay, so it's very simple. So what I've done is that I've created a small flow as a part of it. So if I close this guy, and if I go back to attach PO, this one I've created it. So if I show you what I have written, it's very simple. The most beautiful thing of this models, the Power Apps' built-in AI model is basically, you don't need to convert the already scanned document into a base 64 string. So it is already converted. So if you see my Power Apps, and okay, so if I close this, okay, let me show you what I've done in my Power Apps, and I will go back to the Power Apps actually. So here is my Power Apps V2. It is basically getting hold of the purchase ID. It is basically getting hold of the image content, which is nothing but a base 64 string. And lastly, the legal entity against which you are going to do this. So if you go all the way down, there is I'm initializing a file content variable, which is the nothing but just for my calculations purpose. I've created this variable, and I'm initializing it here into this variable. Then the rest part is very much mundane. I am creating any Azure Active Directory token, and by passing on my client secrets and everything. So once that is done, I am initializing the AAD token that I have got from the previous step. And then I am just calling back to my Dynamics 365, this purchase order header documents attachment, because this is where I'm going to attach it. And, the rest part is very much obvious and very much, straightforward. So basically I'm passing in the legal entity variable. Document ID is nothing but a unique identifier, which I'm creating a GUID here. File name for now, I've created it as a purchase ID, but you can definitely change the purchase, the file ID, file name as just as according to your wish. And access restriction, I'm keeping it as an internal. The file type is JPG. The document type, I mean file type, it is JPG, but you can also make it dynamic by identifying the type of the file that it is basically uploading. The rest part is the attachment description is attachment. Then I'm giving the purchase ID along with it. The purchase order number, this is where your the purchase ID is coming. So this is where the purchase ID is flowing in from the Power Apps column. And that's it. Then it is going to create this as a post method. I'm calling this to Dynamics 365. It is closing the call by creating an record against this purchase order. So that's it. That will create the purchase order record inside against as a form of a attachment. So if you close this and if you come back to what is happening against this upload, so it is, oh, I am basically creating a variable called status, side which I'm passing on the purchase order number, which is this. Then I am basically, this is where actually, this base, as you can understand, base 64, it is going to create like this data, then a colon image slash JPG base 64, like that. It will start the sentence with then actual content of the file it will create. So you need to remove this with a blank value. So I'm just doing that. I'm basically removing this context value, and then I'm passing on the selected text dot value, and then finally I'm passing on the status. Status is basically the response from my Power Apps flow. Then here I have created, if you come back to, if you come back to your tree view, and if you come back to here, I've created a container which is mentioned all in here. So here is a container value, and here it's by default it's going to be, the status, it's going to be invisible. The moment I'm going to return the value of the execution, it is going to be visible. So let me go to this container results. I have created a container result, and the container result I have given visible as if status is completed, then only it is true, else it's going to be false. So that's why it is, when it is uploaded, it is showing as the status is equal to completed. And that's it. That explains the execution process. So you can generalize this just not to docket number, but you can generalize this to any form of document attachment. You can scoop out, and there are a lot of benefits as compared to Azure's document intelligence or form recognizers, because form recognizers would need some kind of a mechanism to convert this as a the base 64. But here, the document intelligence as compared to document intelligence, here you are going to get a base 64 outcome by default. You don't need to write anything. That's why it's going to be much faster. Plus, the document intelligence option of Azure has, either it's going to be the pricing tier, either is going to be an F0, which is free, or it could be standard, that is S0. So in both cases, for development purposes, F0 is pretty much fine. But as you go with real-time production scannings, so you have to use S0, which is going to be not a cost-effective solution. So if you use this, it's going to be cost-effective solution, because this is going to use the license which you have purchased for, say, for example, the person with which you are designing this entire structure. So one license is going to be enough to, in number of times you're going to, whatever number of times you're going to call it, it's going to be fine. So it's going to be cost effective as well. So these are the different benefits that you can get out of it by using this AI modeling structure. So saying that, you can also create, various scanning. Say, for example, you can scan a check, and you can scan out the checks is various attributes. Say, for example, the check amount, the vendor to which you're paying the check, and the dates, all these things you can scoop out, and you can create a journal out of the check. It's kind of a reverse engineering. So we do we generate the journal, and from there we create the check. But here also you can do the other way around. So there are various applicabilities of this kind of a structure of the AI model mechanism. So with that, I would like to conclude this session, and would like to ask, Kasun, if you have any question, please let me know.
Yeah. So in the attachments, I think the one of the other ask would be like, because we have different kind of attachments on different documents, we can have the file type. So we can have different file types created. like the purchase order, like the delivery docket update, delivery docket, file type and different file types we can create, because then you can separate out which files could be updated, uploaded, basically. That could be useful. And it's amazing, the Power Platform side of it. It's converting the base 64, and the that part of it. It's amazing that Power Platform is doing itself on the AI hub, on the model itself. And yeah, I think with that, that's a great showcase, Subhashish, as we discussed. So it's an amazing demo and presentation and showcase on the scenario for the viewers, so that I hope the viewers will be benefited out of this. And thanks again, and hope to see you with another podcast as well.
Sure, sure, sure. Thank you once again, and thank you for taking out time on a weekend and uh, engaging me with this kind of an opportunity to show it to you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Subhashish. Thank you. Cheers.